This is a beech hedge reduction I did Monday. I haven't got to cut them 2 beech trees. As you can see, I've put a line through just to give me a guide. As sort of longer they are, sometimes the harder they are to get straight. So just it's a help. I actually was cutting about 4 inches above the line, as that's the only place I could find to tie the line in, and just run the hedge cutter along the thinner outer growth all the way along. So basically, if that line moved, it's not a problem because I've already sort of cut a line into the hedge. This was, say, Monday, and that's a lovely day, lovely bit of sunshine. Unfortunately, the day didn't end like that. Ended rather wet. But sod's law is right at the end of the job. And as you can see, got the traditional flower bed border at the bottom of the hedge, which there's a lot of bulbs coming through, and the lady did ask if I could try not to squash too many. I did catch a few. Right, this is about half of the hedge off now. Actually, I started more or less not quite in the middle, and sort of work one way, then come back and work the other. As you can see, there's a fair bit come off already. And you can sort of see roughly where I've got to. That leading edge into the garden I've left, and I used a hedge cutter just to tidy it up after the top's off, just to get it a bit more crisp. I'm actually on top of the hedge here now. The worst thing with this hedge was this bit of holly. It's a right tangle, really was. I was planning to mostly just take this top off the hedge with the loppers, but I ended up having to use the pruner quite a bit as well. I mean, I would have preferred to use loppers, as beech you can get a little bit of dieback sometimes, so I'd rather get a clean as cut as possible. But unfortunately, I had to really get the pruner out. And this hedge, luckily, it's very rare it ever happens I could actually get on the hedge, as there was some good old stumpy crowns about 2 foot from the top, which I could get my boot on top of, and I was in there good and quite firm sort of thing, you know. It was good and stable, so I sort of worked my way along that way. I will give you one tip if you do ever get on top of a hedge with a hedge cutter and whatnot. Always make sure the machine's fueled up. There's nothing worse, which I did on this job as well. Got in the hedge, working my way along, and suddenly realised the machine just run out of fuel. So always pays to tank it up first. This hedge, you can see where I've been there, was about 7 foot wide, and obviously the neighbour, I think they've cut sort of about 5 foot high, then just left the top to go over. And unfortunately, the chap who lives here did tell the neighbour I was coming to do the hedge, and he did ask her if it's okay if I went her side to get that other edge nice and clean and sharp, and he said she wasn't very keen, so I didn't go that side. I just did it all from the top, and that's why there's some sort of straggly bits hanging on the neighbour's side. Basically, if I'd cut them, they would have fell straight into her garden. There wouldn't have been no way about it. And the chap just said leave them, so I wasn't too happy about leaving them, but there wasn't really a lot I can do about it. So, and that, as you can see, there's some big old bits of holly in this as well. I think who has been cutting this over the years is slowly crept up this hedge. I'm back on the other end of the hedge now, and this is me getting on and in the hedge. Like I say, I'm actually in the hedge as such rather than actually physically on top of it. So made me laugh actually. Some of these bits of beech have actually grown into that trampoline. I think all us gardeners love a trampoline, don't we? Rotten things. And so some of this I managed to get out with the loppers, but unfortunately, say I had to use the pruner quite a bit. Originally, the chap wanted this hedge cut dead straight all the way along, but if I'd have done that, time I got to the end where the ground goes up, it had only been about 3.5, 4 foot high, which the chap didn't realise. So about 4 foot from that first beech tree, I started to bring it up, and there it is, all done, all cut. And that's after I've run the hedge cut along that edge as well, and over the top as well for any bits of straggly bits, and just skim the side. You can see some of them bits sticking over the neighbours, but it is what it is. So, and you can see the grey clouds coming over as well. But this hedge threw me a little bit because that was more holly in there than I realised. And you can't see it so well there, but that's sort of after stood back. Because of the shrubbery and trees behind, you can't really see the edge so well, but I mean, I was actually glad it wasn't windy when I did this, because got two bloody great big widow makers above me. The camera don't do them justice, but they're sort of that one there is at least 80 to 90 feet. I don't think I'd want them two near my house. The chap did say they're preservation orders on them, so and here we go chipping. But if you like you're seeing your hedges cut, if you want to check out Green Barrow Garden Services, that chap certainly knows how to cut a hedge straight. His last video, I was seriously impressed. He got that hedge absolutely spot on, and that was had a lot of growth on that, so definitely worth checking it out. I'm chipping into bag here, and this is the first time I've used these bags. Best way I could describe them is like a mini ton bag, but not a ton bag. I think they're 140 or 180 litres, I can't remember, and they're square as well. Because the ton bags are good, but I tend to put too much in, and this is the first time I use this bag. As you can see, it's filling up. I got all this chipped in 2 of these bags, and then I used the brown bin for all the rakings up, all the leaves and rubbish that was under the hedge, twiggy bits that I just got left. So, but even so, I still put a bit too much in the bags, and they're still bloody heavy when I was done. So. I'd actually started this job at 8 o'clock in the morning, and time I cleared up and everything, it was about 3 o'clock I'd finished. As you can see, the rain is well and truly set in now, and I did get wet that last half hour, but yeah, I was quite pleased with it. It came out quite nice, and fairly level as well right through. So I did bring it up a little bit, about 5 foot from that beach, and there's a bit better view there. Thank you for watching.